Hi and welcome to my channel. So today I'm bringing you my last batch of items from my Like Forever May kit. Now I did this last month and I really enjoyed it and thought it would make a great way of using up or killing a kit each and every month. So I've decided to do it again this month. So any papers that I had left that could be cut into 3x4, I cut into 3x4 with the idea of I have a 6x8 album that I am going to be creating for my niece and nephew of all pictures of them doing all sorts of random stuff that they do, and then we'll be giving it to my sister and brother-in-law. So these 3x4 cards don't need to particularly match. More often than not there will only be one. The main part will be pictures, so I'm free to just play and do what I want. So I used up the rest of the labels, similar to what I did on my Project Life week 10 spread, and popped some of them. A few of them I just left plain, a few of them I put a little word underneath, and then pictures I have of times I've spent with them, I can just write little notes of what we did, what we were doing, all that sort of stuff. So I'm going through a lot of embellishments. Now a lot of the embellishments I'm using are ones from my own stash that I've pulled out because I have quite a few left. So I've got quite a few with those vellum hearts, which I've used myself on my Project Life quite a bit. So it's nice to see them going into a different album and can be used the same way. I've got bits that are left over, so that little piece that I've just put down the bottom is left from a tag that I chopped up for one of my own Project Life spreads, and I've used that with a little bit of the wood. So I tend to lay out a few cards at a time and I flip between which card I'm going to mess about with or not, depending on my mood. So I'll go through the embellishments, I'll see something and think, oh yeah, that'll look nice on a card. Then I'll think, oh, I need to finish up that card, and I just mess, which quite often is nice and relaxing to be able to do, is just go with what I fancy. And I will end up with a box full of 3x4 cards, and I can just print out loads and loads of pictures of my niece and nephew and pop them all together. So on this one I did put the date of 2015. I have quite a few pictures from that year. I may end up changing the number to a different year, but I can do that if I want. So as I say, I'm just going through a lot of the embellishments. I gave it a go with the cork numbers, but I do really need to know what pictures are going with that. I've pulled out the scraps of paper and decided to use my diamond press tool to just do a few different shapes, a few different pink circles. I pulled out my punches and decided to punch a few butterflies because I did like the striking black on quite a few of the cards, especially with the green. I do like that. So yeah, I'm just messing really, which is the best way sometimes to use up your stash, is just to mess about, see what works and go with it. So I do have another video using my past kit doing this, a few different varieties of what I've done. Some may be similar, some are completely different. I may go round the outline of some of these in black. They did sort of make me think, oh, I want to. But I didn't want to set a theme for the album if that's not what I'm going to do. But my guess is I will end up going around all of these in black as and when I put them into the album. But I will be sure to do an album share when I've finished. So I'm just popping some of those pink circles together. I like the way those were looking, with a couple more of the stars. And then I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do with the rest of that card, so I moved on to the next one. As I find some embellishments, I just think, oh, can I use those up? Can I not? Let's give it a go, see what happens. I used quite a few of these Studio Calico black words. They came in I think they had £5 kits. They were in one of those. So I've used a couple of those on a card with the vellum hearts. Again, just a different way of using things up. So I think I ended up with about 23 cards from this lot, which is pretty good considering I've already done quite a few layouts and 2 Project Life spreads using this kit, so I'm very happy with what I end up with. I was trying to use up these Jelly Bean Soup words because they were so close to being finished. I was determined they were going to be gone. And I did mess about quite a lot with this Me and You. It's probably the one card that I messed about with far too much. For cards that are supposed to be quick and easy, I don't know. I just could not get the me and you part to just line up the way I liked it. So I moved them about on different cards quite a few times, and I did end up settling. It did end up staying, and I got all of those words used up, so that's good. They've not gone back into my stash, which was the whole idea. So yeah, I'm still on this card. And this was probably the only card that took me a really long time. Apart from that, it was if it looked good, it went. I do need to get another little IKEA box, a little tub that they do so that I can pop all these cards into it. So I may make a trip there later today so I've got somewhere to store them all, because I've really enjoyed doing it, and I'm sure I'll be doing it again with this next kit as it comes along. So we end up with an arrow, the whole thing will move. It moves again, there we go, ends up on a green card, and I do prefer the way that looks. I'm not sure if the arrow stays on there, I think that may come off, but I don't have the cards in front of me. But yeah, that finished off the other card with the arrow, so it had somewhere to go, and I'm now on my sort of last batch of cards, and it's like, right, what do I want to use up? What needs to go? What am I done with? There we go, pop that word hello on, and the other arrow. So that's that card finished up. And then I had a little bit of a punching session with some circles. I had stopped to make a brew and couldn't help myself but mess. So this is just using the scraps of the papers with my circle punch. And again, I'm just pulling out the last of my kit bits, seeing how many of them I can get fully used up and done and dusted. And I think I did pretty well. I didn't end up with a lot of this kit left at all. So I'm just chopping and making myself a little banner with the bottom part of an L Studio tag that I used on a layout, so I don't get rid of anything until I've completely killed the kit, just in case there's something that will suit another part. I did end up with 2 number 1s on one tag, but seeing as I'm doing my niece and my nephew, I'm sure I'll just put that next to a picture of both of them, and they can both be number 1. So the little tag from the L Studio pack's just gone with that wood veneer and another little tab from there. I'm going to stick those banner pieces down because I like those. And there is a couple like that banner piece, that's one that screamed at me it needed outlining. And I do pretty much leave it as just the 2 banners. The idea is I may put a little 2x2 photo on there. And if I decide that I want to add something to it later, so be it. So I was just testing out those little leaves because I can't see myself remembering that I have them to use them for anything in the future. So I'm going to try and use those up. I did try a couple of the numbers, but again, it was a matter of what I'd do with it after that. And then I decided to use some of the washi I'd pulled out. So I decorated the bottom part of this little card and popped on a sticker, Happiness Is, that's probably from a really old My Mind's Eye sheet. So I'll pop a little puffy sticker on with those banners and leave that one as is. And then I think I add a little bit of a banner. I add a little bit of a banner to this top one, and I was trying to look for something else to go with the best, and I decided to use quite a few of these little vellum words to sort of make a little montage of every day and all sorts of stuff that they're doing around the house, because there's loads of pictures of them playing. So you can read the words when you look at the card up close, and I thought it was a little bit different. I decided to leave the best as was. I can always add a picture to it or add to it later on. And then I'm just using the sticker sheet up. And that's pretty much it. I think I added the leaves onto that one, and I think that looks rather cute. And that's it. I have managed to get 23 extra cards out of my kit, all ready to pop into an album. And job done. So there's some close-ups coming up. Thank you very much for joining me. See you soon.